want to lower my tripod a bit because there's too much real estate over my head. I was taught long ago, do not have too much real estate over your head. So I get uncomfortable whenever I see that much real estate, as we used to call it. So I'm going to go down a little bit. And I just want to say for all of you who are on the replay, please treat this as if you're here live. What we do when I read poems is I read the poem aloud. And if you are into poetry, as I know some of you are, if you would want to reflect back some of the words that mean a lot to you, if not, that's fine too, but I just love seeing you all here enjoying the poetry. Hi, Kelly. Good to see you. So we are going to start with this collection is the Path to Kindness because we like to be kind around here. Hi, Kay and Row. Good to see you. So we're going to start with a poem called "The Most Important Thing" by Julia Fehrenbacher. The most important thing. I am making a home inside myself, a shelter of kindness where everything is forgiven, where everything is forgiven, everything allowed, a quiet patch of sunlight to stretch out without hurry, where all that has been banished and buried is welcome, spoken, listened to, released. A fiercely friendly place I can claim is my very own. I am throwing arms open to the whole of myself, especially the fearful, fault finding, falling apart, unfinished parts, knowing every seed and weed, every drop of rain has made the soil richer. I will light a candle, pour a hot cup of tea, gather round the warmth of my own blazing fire. I will howl if I want to, knowing this flame can burn through any perceived problem, any prescribed perfectionism, any lying limitation, every heavy thing. I am making a home inside myself where grace blooms in grand and glorious abundance, a shelter of kindness that grows all the truest things. I whisper hallelujah to the friendly sky. Watch now as I burst into blossom. Hi, Miss M. So good to see you. This sounds like you, this poem. Hi, Devin Mike. Good to see you. When I read the part that said, watch now as I burst into blossom, that is for you, Miss M. It's for the peonies in my yard. It's so interesting because on one side of the mats, the peonies are full, they're very vibrant, lots of blossoms. On this side of the shade, not so much. It's also very windy. I hope that doesn't upset the sound quality too badly. But it's good to see you folks here today for a little bit of poetry. Um, I just got back from being in South Jersey and then having choir practice, so I have not curated this list. So I'm trusting this collection of poems to be good ones because James Cruz has not disappointed me yet. Okay. All right. How about more than seeing? Okay. Thank you for your praise. I was going to say, I want to say narrators, moderators, be aware. Okay, More Than Seeing by Susan Musgrave. There is a moment before the kingfisher dives, the eagle swoops, the small green ducks disappear like the breeze in the low hanging cedar branches over the river. There is a moment before I name the kingfisher, the eagle, the ducks, when I am not the observer. I am dark light rush of wings, the trusting wind. I am grace, an end of living in awe of things, a beginning of with them. More than seeing. I love the naming of things. The naming of things is really important to me. The other thing that is important to me are lightning bugs. And today, because I lived for so many years without lightning bugs, I actually looked up, so when are the lightning bugs coming back? And I learned mostly in June and July. I'm ready for the lightning bugs because when you've lived for so long of your life without them, it's thrilling to see them again. How about a poem called Self Compassion? I know I always need self compassion. How about you? Let's go with that one. Okay. Self Compassion by James Cruz, the editor of the series. My friend and I snickered the first time we heard the meditation teacher, a grown man, call himself honey, with a hand placed over his heart to illustrate how we too might become more gentle with ourselves and our runaway minds. It's been years since we sat with legs twisted on cushions, holding back our laughter. But today, I found myself crouched on the floor again, not meditating exactly, just agreeing to be still, saying honey to myself each time I thought about my husband splayed on the couch with aching joints and fever from a tick bite. What if he never gets better? Or considered the threat of more wildfires, the possible collapse of the Gulf Stream, then remembered that in a few minutes I'd have to climb down to the cellar and empty the bucket I placed beneath a leaky pipe that can't be fixed until next week. How long does any of us really have before the body begins to break down and empty its mysteries into the air? Oh, honey, I said for once, without a trace of irony or blush of shame, the touch of my hand on my chest like that of a stranger, oddly comforting in spite of the facts. Oddly comforting in spite of the facts. There was one line, oh, there. I really like this line. Miss M, I thought you might, thank you. Thank you. I had a feeling. I appreciate that assist. Um, the line saying, no, no, no. We too might become more gentle with ourselves and our runaway minds. We too might become more gentle with ourselves and our runaway minds. I know that my mind runs away a lot. And so I appreciated that line from him. Okay, I have a poem called Praise, and it's by Kelly Russell Ogadon. I actually used to write poetry alongside Kelly, so I think I'll read her poem here called Praise. Hi, Mike. So good to see you. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see. I don't know if I can find, I don't think there's any. I should look for some poetry about things like fishing and outdoorsy stuff. I will find some poetry about hiking, fishing, adventuring, all that kind of thing. Rivers. I have read stuff about rivers, lakes, mountains, but next week I'll hold myself to that. It's good to see you. Your mind runs away a lot? Yes, mine too. So this is called praise. And it's praise in a different sort of way. So here we go. You'll know that from the first line. Find me wild about stir fry, about red velvet sofas and the people who sleep inside books and dream about commas. We are flooded with forgetfulness, with fallen plum blossoms misspelling our names on the driveway. Praise our too many expectations, how we overestimate the weather, each other, overestimate how dear will appear if we arrive with food. Because reality can be a knife. We sometimes ache to tear open the tea bag, the ketchup packet, because wine arrives ready to be poured. We are foolish and happy. Though our clothes do not fit, we return to being alive and living between roadblocks and detours, driving our fingers into the edge of each other's pockets. Praise the bare trees that tried to spell our names for the belief they could. Spells and misspellings fail and fail better. How lucky we are just to be here, both of us with each other through these words, with all this exasperating joy, with all this exasperating joy. It's been really interesting watching all the leaves come back to the trees this year. And look at that pretty blue sky behind me. The clouds are really putting on a show today. Let's see if you can see. I don't, yeah, there you go. I love clouds. I don't mean to make you dizzy, but I'll look up some poems about power washing. That's a good topic for a poem. That's a very good topic for a poem. And yay for power washing. This song. Let's see. Okay, this poem includes a chainsaw. So, we'll have to use a chainsaw in a poem in place of power washing. Okay, you ready for this one? It's called Joy by Dorian Lau. She's another poet. She partners up with a favorite poet of mine from California whose name is totally gone out of my head. I apologize. Joy. It just fell into my head and left. I can picture who I'm thinking of, but I can't remember her name. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Clouds are amazing. Even when the gods have driven you from your home, your friends, the tree you planted, brought down by storm, drought, chainsaw, beetles, even when you've been scrubbed hollow by confusion, loss, accept joy, like receive joy. Those unbidden moments of surcease, the quiet unfolding around your shoulders like a shawl, the warmth that doesn't turn to burning. When the itch has stopped, the cough, the throb, the heart's steady beat resumed, the barn door open to the shade, the horse inside waiting for your touch, apple in your pocket, pocked, riddled, the last to fall, the season done. As you would accept air into your lungs without thinking, not counting each breath. As you accepted the earth the first time you stood up on it and it held you, how it was just there, a solid miracle. Gravity, something you would learn about only later and still be amazed. Amazed by gratitude. Hi, CL. Erased by gravity. Did I say gratitude? Erased by gravity. That is very cool. Okay, here's one that says take love for granted. So now I'm kind of obsessed with putting power washers into every poem that I read. So if you took power washers for granted, I don't know. I don't think that works either. Can wrote, but I'm trying. Okay, this poem's called Take Love for Granted by Jack Riddle. I've never read a poem by Jack Riddle before, but I love the title. Take Love for Granted. Assume it's in the kitchen, under the couch, high in the pine tree out back, behind the paint cans in the garage. Don't try proving your love is bigger than the Grand Canyon, the Milky Way, the urban sprawl of LA. Take it for granted. Take it out with the garbage. Bring it in with the takeout. Take it for a walk with the dog. Wake it every day. Say, good morning. Then make the coffee. Warm the cups. Don't expect too much of the day. Be glad when you make it back to bed. Be glad he threw out that box of old hats. Be glad she leaves her shoes in the hall. Snow will come. Spring will show up. Summer will be humid. The leaves will fall in the fall. That's more than you need. We can love anybody. But you can love the silence, sighing and saying to yourself, that's her, that's him. Then to each other, I know. Let's go out for breakfast. You could have that last line be, let's power wash the house. I'm trying. I'm trying. Okay. I like that one. I like that one. This book is about chores. I was going to say, hey, good to see you, Debbie Sue. Yeah, I really love that one. It was so, okay, I need to read this one. I'll try not to cry because it reminds me of something that I've been bringing up with my adult children lately and also my siblings. I did something rather unbelievable yesterday. I sent a text to my brother Jim, who kind of the family patriarch now. And I sent him a text and I said, look, my 2027 is filling up fast. May we please plan something for all of us in 2028? Please. And he's like I said, he's the family patriarch, so he's the one who would be most likely to be seen as the organizer or the best one to do this. So I was really proud of myself because if we don't start planning it now and setting a date, we'll never do it. So here we go. Everybody in the same house. It was after someone's graduation, and even though some did not want their picture taken, I engineered the photo, set up the tripod, cajoled, insisted, got it. Faces in a jagged line, the dog a blur, and some of my love shining like now, old fashioned in my face. That night, everybody sleeping under the same roof in various cots and cubby holes, makeshift, camping out. This could be the occasion we'll calculate from. Remember that time when we were all together? That hour perhaps adjacent to what the sacred might be. A cave we have found, a temporary stay, and the children in their niches, full of sleep, full of daring, full of risk, turning over to other poses one by one in safety. Hi, Kelly. Good to see you. I just love that one. I love the thought of being all together in the same house. And I'm thinking about my siblings, not just my kids, but it would be great to have everyone together in the same house. Um, and not have it like after my dad died, we were all together, except for John, because my brother John was already gone. And before that, I think the last time we were together before that was 2001. That's a long time. So just saying, I reached out to my elder brother. Let's plan something now, 2028. Let's set the dates. Yes, one by one in safety. Isn't that beautiful? Okay. Here's some more wake up poems. Wake up. How to Wake by Annie Lightheart. My neighbor's mowing his lawn. He's not power washing. Okay, here we go. How to wake. Wake your brother with a soft voice by his pillow. He has been very afraid. Wake your mother with a kiss before calling her name. Wake your grandfather with a touch on his knee, then wait. He has far to come from the places he's been. Wake the young dog with an open door. Wake the old dog with an outstretched hand. And yourself? How will you wake that stubborn sleeper to life? Look for a line let down through the water. The silver hook is baited with a word. Bite and awaken to that wild, clear sound. Mike, did you hear that? That was a poem that included fishing. I didn't even know it included fishing. I'll read that part again. How will you wake that stubborn sleeper to life? Look for a line let down through the water. The silver hook is baited with a word. Bite and awaken to that wild, clear sound. A fishing metaphor. It's good to see everybody. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming and listening to poetry and hanging out together. It's so good to see you all. CL is here. Living My Best Life is here. Mike is here. Kelly is here. Teacher Kelly Tag's here. Simply Debbie Sue. So did I say Mike Adventure Sparks already? Miss M is here. Okay, Simply Debbie Sue, all of you. So great to see you. K and Row Hiking Happens has been here. Kelly B. Slow Down, Take Time to Live is here or was here. These are all the names who've been here. Just Miss M, naturally. Thank you so much. Thank you all for being here. Okay. I love that because I had just said I don't have any poems about fishing. Oh, In Praise of Dirty Socks. I read this one once before. Yeah, In Praise of Dirty Socks. You ready? You're living oh, yes, "Hi, living my best life." That's a great name, 'cause you "Hi, living my best life?" Yes. Okay, In Praise of Dirty Socks by Leila Denin Shima. Say what you want to stay and never fade. Shoes. I consider my daughter's socks strewn on the sofa. Thick cotton, pink with gold threaded hearts, dingy soles, rank. Long ago weeks when chemo pinned me like a butterfly, too nauseous to nag, she cleaned her things like saying a spell, like making a wish. How she forgets. How I strain to remember. How, if illness or violence should still her, the empty arms of this charcoal couch would ache. Now the socks draped here quiet my mind as morning wind churns, ferrying amber leaves. It's a fall poem. I was not expecting the part about chemo. So, yeah, still lurking. You have stuff to do. You have power washing and stuff, Cairo. Yeah. It's totally okay. I was going to say, sometimes I will have lives on and I'll be doing all kinds of stuff and I can't participate in the chat. I might still be hanging out there. And sometimes I can't hang out all the time. So I just appreciate people popping in for as long as you can come is great. So thank you so much. Okay. Okay, this one is cool because it's about feet. And feet are so important. They're so important. Kimberly Blazer wrote a poem called About Standing in Kinship. We all have the same little bones in our foot, 26 with funny names like navicular. Together, they build something strong. Our foot arch, a pyramid holding us up. The bones don't get cast when they break. We tape them, one phalange to its neighbor for support. Other things like sorrow work that way too. Find healing in the leaning, in the closeness. Our feet have 1/4 of all the bones in our body. Maybe we should give more honor to the feet and to all those tiny but blessed cogs in the world, communities, the forgotten architecture of friendship, communities. I was going to say that's one of the cool things that I have found on YouTube is a community, which seems so surprising to people who aren't a part. Isn't that beautiful about feet? Sometimes things that seem like they're about feet or seem like about a cup of coffee or we read a lot of poems here that seem like they're about mundane things that are about so much more. So yeah. Okay, this is by Shanna Block. It's called The Joins, and it's about scars. And the little bit before the poem says, "Kintsugi is the Japanese art of mending precious pottery with gold." Perhaps you've seen this, a piece of pottery, and there's like gold laced in it. Excuse me. What's between us? As my throat says, no, I don't have my water with me. I got done with choir and came rushing over. Okay. The Joins by Shauna Block. What's between us seems flexible as the webbing between forefinger and thumb. Seems flexible, but isn't. What's between us is made of clay, like any cup on the shelf. It shatters easily. Repair becomes the task. We glue the wounded edges with tentative fingers. Scar tissue is visible history, and the cup is precious to us because we saved it. In the art of kintsugi, a potter repairing a broken cup would sprinkle the resin with powdered gold. Sometimes the joins are so exquisite, they say the potter may have broken the cup just so he could mend it. Hmm. The potter may have broken the cup just so he could mend it. It's an interesting thought and metaphor. Really, Debbie Sue, I know that foot poem. It took me by surprise too. That was about standing in kinship by Kimberly Blazer. Okay, there's a poem called Housekeeping. So again, I'm trying to find poems about fishing and power washing. I really am. So we managed to find a fishing metaphor. So yes, we're all broken yet beautiful. Yes, we are. You're right. You're right. Living my best life. Miss M, I absolutely love poetry too. It's one of my favorite things. One of my very favorite things. So Housekeeping by Natasha Trethewey. Na- I don't know if I'm saying her last name right, but Natasha Trethewey was another former poet laureate. I love bringing out the former poet laureates, and apparently so does James Editor, our James Crew is the editor of this book. By the way, these 3 poetry books, I've read from all of these, and they're in a box. So, this is a box full of poetry. This would make a great gift. I'm not an Amazon affiliate or anything, but this would make a great gift for poetry lovers. Because as you have heard, all of these poems are pretty accessible, and the book has within it reflective pauses and prompts and invitations for reflection. So, anyway, this poem's called Housekeeping. We mourn the broken things. Chair legs wrenched from their seats, chipped plates, the threadbare clothes. We work the magic of glue, drive the nails, mend the holes. We save what we can, melt small pieces of soap, gather fallen pecans, keep neck bones for soup. Beating rugs against the house, we watch desks lit like stars spreading across the yard. Late afternoon, we draw the blinds to cool the rooms, drive the bugs out. My mother irons, singing, lost in reverie. I mark the pages of a mail order catalog, listen for passing cars. All day we watch for the mail, some news from a distant place. Okay, I love that one. I love that one. And how about a mailman poem? You know, when I was a child, probably doesn't surprise those of you who've known me for a while. I love all the broken pieces that are showing up in the poems today too. We say what we can. Thank you. But when I was a little girl, I was a big time letter writer. I had so many pen pals. I might have mentioned this before, but man, I wrote tons of letters. And I don't know how my parents put up with this hobby of mine because it's expensive. Back then, but you know, in the 70s, the stamps were like 6 cents. I remember when they went from 5 to 6 cents. And I worried that my parents wouldn't be able to fund my hobby. I did buy my own stationery with my babysitting money, but I don't know when I started buying my own stamps, probably not till I was 18. And by then I didn't write as many letters. Although in college I still wrote to all my college friends. Anyway, this poem's called Mailman by Sally Bloomis Dunn. Oh, okay, 3 more minutes. So this may be the last one. We have telephone repairman. I will end with the news of love because there's a reference to Emily Dickinson. You all know I love Emily. Okay, each day the mailman rides to a dutiful stop, slides his hand into the small aluminum tunnel of our mailbox. I wonder if the air feels differently than it did a few years back, all the emails zipping past him like no-see-ums. Sometimes I miss seeing someone's script make its way across the envelope with a sure sense of the steady straight line, and then unfolding the letter, the slight shadows from the creases as I read it, reminding me for a moment of who had folded and tucked the letter into the envelope, sealed it with their tongue, carried it to a mailbox where it sat with all the other letters in a long silence that could have lasted for days. And I love hearing that. Miss M writes letters, and Simply Debbie Sue loved pen pals, and living her best life. Pen pals, pen pals. That's so good. I still get what we call snail mail from time to time. And I get snail mail at both addresses, my daughter's house and here. And so when I go to my daughter's house, sometimes I have like several letters. I had an invitation to a birthday party on the West Coast I couldn't go to, but I still love being invited. Okay, can you hear that? I remember last time nobody could hear the bells, and they're so loud and clear here. And it's 11:11. 11 people, 11 likes. I like that symmetry. So we'll wait for the bells to stop chiming. There's one. There's two. There's three. The church bells here chime until 9 p.m. and I love it. I love it. I love it. My bedroom is right above this where I'm sitting, and I love it. I'm usually long out of my bed by the time they start. They start at I think 8 in the morning, but at night, sometimes I'm upstairs by 9, and I really love that. Okay, our last poem today is by David Graham, and it's called The News of Love. The squirrel on our maple flicks its tail, our dog at his window watching steadily. Love is steady too and sturdy. Like a 1,000-year-old tree, they built the house around it. But dumb love's fun too, like the baby laughing nonstop whenever you rip some paper. You feel love more than see it, like the wind on your face. But don't take my word for it. Look instead at the shoreline pines, how they all lean one direction, even when there's no wind. I'm sorry you guys couldn't hear the bells. I should have a bell here to ring when the church bells ring. I think um Apple's so good at um just having the sound of the human voice on there. So yeah. Yeah. It's like that's not a noise. But it's okay. It's okay. Just know the church bells were ringing. They're beautiful. So I'd like to thank each and all of you for coming, for hanging out with me, with poetry, and with each other. I hope that you gained something from the poems and you enjoyed them and you enjoy each other's company because I surely enjoyed your company just for showing up. I'll be back tomorrow on the porch, 8:30 Eastern, for a half an hour of coffee and conversation and who knows what else. I'm imagining usually something strikes me and I decide to do something else. So, hey, Kelly, you're still here. That's cool. Yeah. So, if you want to come back tomorrow morning, if you're available, you might be at work or you might be doing other things, but it's always good to see your faces. So, thank you so much. And I look forward to hanging out with you again next time. Take good care.